Battle through the heavens, grand world. Chapter 164 Fierce tiger fighting wolves. What? The guard who had reached out his hand to grab the monarch crystal was startled when he heard Xiaoyan's words. His cold eyes turned into shock, and he stared at Xiaoyan with a dumbfounded expression. As the city guards of Taiching Mansion, he had never heard anyone speak to him in such a way in all these years. Xiaoyan ignored the guard in front of him, and looked at the guard who was sitting cross-legged not far away. He was looking at the young man who was continuously receiving storage rings from the guards with a joyful expression on his face. Just now, under his alien realm's soul strength, the young man named Xiao Chong and the captain of the guards had heard everything that was said, and now, they were here to cause trouble. Xiaoyan couldn't help but sneer. 100 monarch crystals might not be worth mentioning to him, but... However, Xiaoyan didn't have a good impression of the Xiao clan in this great world, so why should he let them do whatever they wanted? This is the Taiching Mansion. Be careful of your words and actions. Don't offend the Xiao clan just because of 100 monarch crystals. The guard retracted his hand from Xiaoyan, straightened his chest, and said in a cold voice. Ridiculous, do you think you will be exploited by the Xiao clan in the Taiching Mansion? Besides, the prohibition of the Xiao clan stipulated that 100 transportation arrays must be paid to please the people of the Xiao clan. Xiaoyan sneered and stared at the armored guards in front of him fearlessly. When the people in the queue heard Xiaoyan's words, they couldn't help but be stunned. Although what this young man said was the truth, he should be wise in this place. Just like what the guard said, it wasn't worth offending the local snake for a mere 100 monarch crystals. Hearing the commotion here, the middle-aged guard captain also walked over. After understanding the situation, he said with an indifferent expression, "You must abide by the rules of Taiching Mansion in Taiching Mansion. Please pay 100 monarch crystals immediately. Don't block the people behind you." Xiaoyan heard this and laughed lightly. He walked forward and knocked the guard in front of him to the side. "I won't accompany you any longer." After saying that, he walked out of the hall under the astonished gazes of the crowd. Wait! Just as Xiaoyan was about to walk out of the hall, he was suddenly stopped by an arm from the side. Xiaoyan stopped and looked at the young man called Xiao Chong who had arrived in front of him. "Brother, 100 monarch crystals is just a small amount of money. It's fine as long as you hand it over. Why do you have to hurt our relationship so much? You have to understand that no one in Taiching Mansion can offend the people of Xiao clan. No matter what kind of background he has, even if he's a dragon, he has to obediently sit down. Even if he's a tiger, he has to obediently lie down." Xiao Chong looked at Xiaoyan with a smile on his face. However, his eyes were filled with endless fury. This guy really didn't know what was good for him. Could it be that he still didn't know where he was right now? After what this guy said just now, Xiao Chong realized that many people in the hall were moved by his words, and no longer willingly handed over the monarch crystal. The people of the Xiao clan. They are much more domineering than I thought. However, don't think about using the name of the Xiao clan to gain the right to have fun, and don't even think about using the name of the Xiao clan to threaten me. That's useless to me. Xiaoyan coldly looked at Xiao Chang's threat. His facial expression didn't change at all. His cold voice made Xiao Chong feel as if he had fallen into an ice cave. "Is that so? I just don't know if your eloquence and strength match. I would like to see if you can leave Yuanyi City alive today." Xiao Chong was the second young master of Yuanyi City. No one had ever spoken to him in such a way in all these years. Immediately, he was burning with anger. His expression was gloomy as he spoke with an unconcealable killing intent in his voice. "I would like to have a taste of it. There's no need to find a place. This place is not bad." Before Xiao Chong could react, Xiaoyan had already sent a punch with a gloomy face, hitting Xiao Chang's abdomen. The punch that was full of anger instantly caused Xiao Chang's handsome face to change shape. He screamed in pain and was sent flying backwards. "Young master." Xiaoyan's sudden attack not only stunned Xiao Chong, but also the middle-aged captain. When he regained his senses, Xiao Chong had already crashed into a black pillar in the hall. His face was pale and he was gasping for breath. "What are you waiting for? All of you, go and catch him." The middle-aged man who had regained his senses turned pale. He roared and flipped his palm. He waved his black spear and rushed towards Xiaoyan aggressively. The rest of the stunned city guards also seemed to have woken up from a dream. They all shouted and took out their spears to attack Xiao Yan. What's going on? Hundreds and thousands of people in the main hall were stunned when they saw over 20 city guards attacking Xiao Yan at the same time. Although there were many Monarch Emperor level warriors among them, they still broke out in cold sweat when they saw what happened just now. That bastard was so arrogant in the headquarters of the Xiao clan. He had actually mercilessly beaten up the second young master of the city lord of Yuanyi City. This boldness was something that even some monarch emperor present couldn't achieve. Humph. After sending Xiao Chong flying with a single punch, Xiao Yan looked at the city guards that was rushing towards him from all directions. He couldn't help but let out a cold snort. The Xiao clan had lived a peaceful life in this great world. Each and every one of them was using their power to bully others. Such a family had really disappointed him. No wonder Senior Xiao Wang went to the Spirit Heaven Mansion. Under such a foul environment, nothing good will come out. Looking at the 20 over ferocious faces of the city guards, Xiao Yan laughed out of extreme anger. This was the family that countless seniors of the Xiao clan in Fighting Qi Continent were loyal to. This was the family that the old ancestor of the Supreme Saint had abandoned everything and risked his life to come to the Fighting Qi Continent to serve. For some reason, he didn't know why. The fire in Xiao Yan's heart exploded. He flipped his palm. The blue flame ruler had already appeared in his hand. He shouted furiously. All of the crimson gold flames on his body instantly erupted, and his strength suddenly rose to a level that surpassed the peak of monarch spirit. Kacha. Under Xiao Yan's furious attack, the blue flame ruler heavily struck the black iron spear of the captain of the guards. A sound of metal breaking could be heard, and the spearhead of the black spear, which belonged to the category of mid-rank spirit weapon, was sent flying. My black iron spear. When a guard saw his mid-tier spirit weapon being shattered by a foot by Xiao Yan, he immediately cried out in shock. His heart ached so much that it felt like it was going to drip blood. At the same time, he was also shocked by Xiao Yan's sudden burst of strength. He was a mighty warrior of the Five Paths monarch realm. His strength was actually weaker than this guy who only had the strength of a two sovereign. After shattering the mid-tier spirit weapon of the captain of the guards with a furious strike, Xiao Yan did not hesitate at all. He waved the blue flame ruler and attacked the long spear that came from all directions. At the same time, a few wisps of scarlet golden flames suddenly appeared on the surface of the blue flame ruler, blocking the 7 or 8 long spears that came pressing down at the same time. Xiao Chong, who had recovered from the pain, suddenly looked at Xiao Yan, who was surrounded by everyone. His eyes were filled with anger, and he roared furiously at all costs, "Capture that bastard for me. I'll torture him to death." As soon as he finished speaking, the tip of a spear rushed towards him. Xiao Chang's back instantly broke out in cold sweat. He hurriedly dodged and the tip of the spear flew past his ear. He felt a slight pain in his ear. Xiao Chong looked at Xiao Yan, who was still full of energy even though he was surrounded by more than 20 people. Sweat immediately flowed down from his forehead and he almost screamed. Go to the city lord's mansion and call my father. We must catch this guy who dares to behave atrociously in the Xiao clan." Hearing Xiao Chang's words, the 2 servants who followed him hurriedly agreed and ran out in a flurry. This guy's strength. He's only at the 3rd monarch spirit. I don't know what kind of secret technique he used to possess the strength of a 2nd sovereign emperor, but the city guards of Xiao clan is at least at the 7th monarch spirit, and more than 20 of them are still unable to take him down. Everyone in the main hall was staring at the intense battle in front of them. Xiao Yan still had the strength to fight back under the pincer attack of more than 20 city guards. He waved the blue flame ruler in his hand, creating a strong wind. The burning crimson gold flames on the surface of the ruler struck the spears of those low-grade spirit weapons. With just a single strike, he had destroyed them, and the flames that were burning on his body. It formed a perfect protective shield, and the attack that carried the power of unification entered the flames. It was as if it had been weakened by several times, and it couldn't cause too much damage to Xiao Yan. Who the hell is this guy? For a moment, there were only 2 words echoing in everyone's mind: monstrous genius. Chapter end. Hi guys, please like, comment, share, and subscribe.